They looked me up and down like I didn't belong, like I was lost, broke, or just confused. But I wasn't any of those things. I was the reason their lights were still on. My name is Ava Simmons, and from wherever you're watching this, stay with me. Because one morning, I walked into a bank branch I technically owned, and the manager looked me dead in the eye and said, "We don't serve people like you." I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just handed her a piece of paper, one that would end her career in 10 minutes flat. Have you ever been underestimated so badly, so confidently, that you almost feel sorry for the person doing it? Almost. She judged me based on what she saw and had no idea she was seconds away from losing everything. This wasn't just about race or status. It was about arrogance, power, and the quiet satisfaction of revealing your real identity after they've exposed theirs. So when I said, "Good, you're all fired," I wasn't being dramatic. I was being generous. Because what I could have done would have made the news for a very different reason. It was supposed to be a quick stop, nothing fancy. Just a signature, a few verifications, and then back to her other meetings. But as soon as Ava Simmons stepped into the lobby of that bank, heels sharp, posture upright, and phone in hand, the temperature in the room changed. Subtle glances shifted her way. One teller tilted her head. The assistant manager at the corner desk stood up slowly, watching like a hawk. Ava was used to this, too used to it. And yet today, something felt different. She walked to the front desk, waited for the man behind the counter to finish speaking to the man in front of her, then said calmly, "Good morning. I'm here to sign for a wire transfer confirmation on account number 1473. The young clerk blinked, confused. "Do you have ID?" "Of course." Ava pulled it from her sleek black purse. Driver's license, business card, and her CEO badge. Simmons Holdings. Clear as day. The clerk barely glanced at it. One moment. He walked away, not to verify, but to whisper something to a woman in a sharp navy blazer by the glass office. That was Denise Porter, branch manager. Denise's lips tightened the moment she looked up at Ava. Then she stood, strode over, and said, "Mom, can I help you?" Ava nodded, still calm. "Yes. I'm here to finalize a document on an authorized corporate wire transfer. My assistant called earlier." Denise crossed her arms. "And what company are you with?" "I own Simmons Holdings. I'm the CEO." Denise didn't flinch, but something in her eyes flickered, like disbelief wrapped in disdain. A pause. "I'm sorry, Mom," she said slowly, her voice just loud enough for others to hear. "But we don't serve people like you here." Silence. Ava blinked. "Excuse me?" "You heard me." Denise smiled. "This is a high-value transaction. If you'd like to make a withdrawal, there's an ATM outside." A gasp somewhere behind them. A customer raised their eyebrows. One of the tellers looked away, clearly uncomfortable. But Denise stood smug. Ava didn't raise her voice. She didn't stutter. She didn't ask again. She reached into her purse, pulled out a folded document, and handed it to Denise with two fingers. "Read that out loud," she said. Denise looked confused, but she took it. As she unfolded the letterhead, her face slowly turned pale. It was a corporate acquisition order. Effective immediately, Simmons Holdings had acquired the regional banking group to which this branch belonged. A deal closed just 48 hours earlier. "Section 3, Ava said calmly. Read that part. Denise's hands trembled as she read. "All current managerial staff of branches flagged with internal discrimination reports or prior compliance issues are subject to immediate review and potential dismissal, effective at the discretion of the new majority shareholder." Ava took one step closer, looked her in the eye. "You see, Denise, I wasn't here as a customer. I came to inspect this branch." Quietly. "And you just gave me all the proof I needed." The clerk behind the desk stepped back. The teller dropped her pen. A woman in the waiting area whispered, "Oh my God," Denise stammered. You can't just fire me." "Actually," Ava interrupted, "I can. And I am." She turned to the staff. "Anyone else here who thinks people like me don't deserve respect, opportunity, or dignity? Now's a good time to clock out." No one moved. The air was thick, humid with shame. Ava pulled out her phone and made one call. Security, she said. We're going to need escorts for a personnel exit. Yes, now. Then she turned back to the stunned manager. I suggest you pack up, and while you're at it, maybe reflect on the cost of your assumptions. Denise opened her mouth, but no words came out. Within 5 minutes, two corporate security officers arrived. Quietly, efficiently, they escorted Denise out of the building. No drama, no yelling. Just shock, silence, and the sound of doors opening to let her shamefully walk through. Customers who'd been watching in disbelief began clapping. One elderly man stood up and said, "About damn time." Ava didn't stay long. She signed the confirmation, thanked the remaining staff, and said, "Let's rebuild this branch with people who value people." Then she walked out, not just as a woman in a power suit, not just as a CEO, but as the example every young girl of color in that room would remember forever. Outside, her driver opened the car door. As she slid in, her assistant texted, "News just hit internal channels. You made quite the statement." Ava replied simply, "They made it for me. I just gave it volume." She leaned back, watched the bank fade in the rearview mirror, and whispered to herself, "We don't serve people like you. Good, you're all fired."